Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and today I'm going to work on the cover because this journal I'm doing, the Prayer War Room Journal, has grown into the largest journal that I've done so far. So I need to now make that cover that I did a while back fit it. And so I'm going to show you how I did that, and we're getting almost down to the finish line on this one. So anyway, I hope you'll come along and watch what happens. Thanks. Good morning, everybody. This is Pam from Jesus Junk Journals, and I hope everybody's having a nice new year. I would love to hear some comments from you guys in the comments on YouTube of what you're working on, how it's going. I'd really love to see pictures if anybody's doing this prayer journal with me. Don't forget that I have a group on Facebook. It's called Jesus Junk Journal Creators, and you're welcome to come and be in that group. And I'd love to see what you're working on. So anyway, this morning what I'm getting ready to do, as you know, I've had a great time putting all my little signatures together. And now it's like Judgment Day. When I put them all together, it came out to about 4 inches thick. Let me grab these. So what I did is I split my 3 signatures into 4, because as you know, when you do a signature, the fatter it is, it pushes the middle pages out. So, you know, that's why we don't make one big signature with 1,000 pages, because it would go like that with the pages. So I split it into 4 because it's so big. And so there's this one, and let me unclip it so you can see what's going on. So I measured it a little bit ago, and it looks like about 4 inches thick. And it's funny, you do these, and as you're going along, you're thinking, oh, this one's not going to be as fat as the other ones. That's good. And then I have this Armor of God signature that I worked on, that I thought I was going to put in this. But the more I think about it, I'm not sure that it has to go in here. I mean, it seems like if it was going to go in here, it would go at the beginning, because it's talking about the armor you put on, you know, and before you like go into the war room, your prayer room, you would put on your armor. So it seems like that would go first. But I'm really kind of thinking about leaving it on its own as a separate journal. I mean, it's not really adding that much thickness, but it's something that I could do. It doesn't have to go with this. So I'm really leaning towards leaving that out. And then I have this other signature of just journaling pages that I was going to do that's going to be removable. And I am still going to do that because it's really not that thick. I don't think it's going to make or break it. And so this is the thickness. So we go back to our cover that we worked on. And I really want this deer to be on the cover. And so obviously, if that's the cover, there's not room for a 4-inch spine and then a back cover. And so what I could do, I could of course add to this flap here and the back flap and just make them longer. But as you can see, it cuts the deer off. So I really want the deer on the cover. And so what I'm going to do is split it in the middle and add some cloth to the middle, to the spine. So split this doily right down the middle and add the spine. So that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. So let me clip this up and I'll be right back. To tell you, and you may have heard this, I don't know if anybody else has talked about this, but I've realized that this it goes in between your teeth to clean. It's by Gum, I guess that's the name of the company, Proxa Brush. And this one is tight, And there may be even a smaller one, I don't know. But it's this little tiny, teeny tiny bristle brush. And I thought it might work on my cleaning the metal tube out of the glitter glue. And it does a great job. It's doing a really good job. It doesn't go all the way through, so that's why I don't know if there's a smaller one than this, but I just used it this morning and it pushed a lot of gunk up out of that top, and it gets really far down in there with its little bristles. And I have a feeling it would work on the Bearly Art glue and all those little glue things. And there's bigger ones too if you wanted to use them on some of the other bottles of this and that we have. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up this morning to you. I think I need to, oh, there it comes off. I think I need to soak this in some water a little bit more just to get all of it out. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that to you. Okay, so what I had talked about was cutting. I had talked about removing this and maybe moving it if I needed to, and sure enough, I am going to need to. So I'm going to just cut the stitches off. And I love this trim. I'm just trying to decide if I want it on the cover. I mean, I kind of do. I guess I'm thinking about if it's in a bookshelf, the spine doesn't get smashed, but the back and front get smashed. Of course, it's got this lace. I don't know. This is kind of a standalone, sit on the coffee table kind of journal, I would say. So I think I will go ahead and stitch this onto the cover and then split this in the middle. And I think I'll just fold this over and line this doily up. If it does line up, let's see. Let's see, how does that line up? Okay, so that kind of gives me my place to cut it apart. And I'm going to get my fabric scissors for this, so I'll be right back. Okay, I had to change my shirt too. It gets hot up here. This is over my garage, as you may have heard me say before, and heat rises, and so even when the downstairs is cold, it's always kind of warm up here, so it's getting a little bit hot. Okay, so all right, so those are lined up, and this may mess up some of these things I've sewn on, but I'll just have to re-sew them. Okay, what's going on here? Oh, okay, I wasn't inside the lining all the way. That's interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, that's going to break the chain, and that one, but I can applique over the top of it, and that will keep it from raveling out. Okay, so that's that side and this side. So I think I need to add pretty much a 4-inch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, a 4-inch piece of fabric. So I'm going to turn the camera off and I'm going to go see what I have to use for that. All right, I've got several things to try. Okay, I've got several things to try. I could add a doily in the middle with some liner under it. This is too wide though, because it would go over and cover up the deer, so that's not going to work. And then I've got just this Tim Holtz fabric that I just got, which I could make a strip of that in the middle. This is inside the journal. Not really liking that. And I've got this orange that I used already, which is plain, but I kind of think I like this the best. So I think I will cut a big strip of this and then add embellishment to that. Okay, here I am back. I took a little break and put some things away and sorted some things out and did all sorts of odds and ends. And now all the dogs are up here with me, so they're happy. And I cut the cover in half. I cut this chunk of fabric out, and I'm going to use, I think I'll save this back. I'm going to use embroidery floss to stitch this on. I got these, actually I had these somewhere and I ran across them and it said embroidery, European quality, whatever that means. So I think I'm going to see what difference it makes. These look like they have maybe a long eye, like a bigger eye in length at least. So that would be nice. And since I like to stab myself with that long darning needle, maybe this will be a little safer. Oh yes, much easier to thread. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I came across that package. If you hear snoring in the background, that's my Boston Terrier, or snorting. He snorts and snores even when he's awake. So he's over there curled up on the chair. I don't let them up here because they get bored and then they come over here and start bothering me. But sometimes I think my husband feels sorry for them. And he likes to let them up here every now and then. Okay, let's see. Okay, I don't need to keep them together. I'll just do one and then I'll add the back to it. So I'm going to put this aside for now, just to keep the chaos down as much as I can. I frayed the edges of this piece of fabric and I actually made it 5.5 inches wide for just a little bit of an overlap. Oh, let's see. I actually need to turn it back around this way if I want the feathers to go the opposite direction of that one. Okay. I just barely want this to overlap. So I was on Pinterest looking at slow stitching, and apparently I thought slow stitching was just a thing that was going on with crafters doing journaling and things like that, but apparently the term slow stitching has just officially taken over for the word embroidery, because that's what I'm seeing is embroidery, all sorts of embroidery, and they're calling it slow stitching. So I'm thinking, well, did people just get tired of the word is hard to say and it's hard to spell. Embroidery, and slow stitch is a lot easier. So I don't know if that's what's going on, but it's kind of funny to me that it's been renamed. Tightening my stitches there. Yeah, I kind of messed up there. Oh well, onward and upward. Okay, so there's my imperfect feather stitch. And let's see, did that stitch? Oh, it stitched it. Okay, it attached it. I didn't know if it would attach it well enough, but it did. Okay, so now I can put this piece on. And I want to get it as close to the edge as I can. Keep it as close. And I think I'll do the chain stitch on this one. Hoping that shows. I guess it'll show. Kind of in the selvage of this fabric. Oh, let's see. I think I'm going to change it up and start doing just a straight running stitch here, just to get it attached. Because this is the selvage, it's kind of hard to stitch through. Okay. So now, let's see. That has given me a lot more room to put my journal together. Anyway, when I bind my signatures, I bound them and then I bind them to the spine, and I do like a glue-in spine. And somebody on one of my videos asked the question, like, why do you do it twice? And my answer was, that's the only way I had seen it done. And so that made, of course, the question was obviously like, or I think what she was trying to let me know is you don't have to sew them twice. And so I'm like, well, that's interesting. Okay. So this time I'm going to try and just sew them directly into the cardboard spine, onto the cardboard spine, instead of twice. And that would seem like it would be simpler. So I hope you guys had a great New Year's. I did nothing too exciting. I sat up until about 3 in the morning watching the new season of The Crown. I hadn't watched it yet. My husband, he was a pretty good trooper about the rest of The Crown, but these later editions or these later episodes, he didn't seem to have much interest in. So I watched it by myself. And I hadn't done that for a long time. I mean, I watched, gosh, 4 or 5 episodes in a row. And I hate that feeling. The next morning you wake up and it's like, ugh, why did I do that? So he went to bed early. He went to bed like at 10:30 on New Year's Eve. And I just sat there and watched all those episodes. Part of it was because I did have it. It's in what we call the man cave, and he has a projector TV, so it projects a great big, like, across the whole wall, and so it is fun to watch things on there. But he's the one that kind of monopolizes that TV, and so I guess I was thinking, ooh, well, I have access to this TV. I better get this watched. So that's what I did. Now I kind of wish I'd filled that in. I guess I'll come over there and do that. So my latest obsession as far as supplies that I've been buying has been the silk velvet on Etsy, and it's cut in strips to use for tabs on things, and you can get like 1 inch, 2 inch, 1/2 inch, and they're so pretty, and I keep buying more of them. I need to stop, but they feel so great. They're just a lovely tactile touch to add to your journal. I'm not very good at sewing them on with my machine. They slip and slide. So, of course, my tabs are all crazy, but that doesn't bother me, as you know. I still enjoy them. So, my tabs are all crooked and bunched up, but I like it. So, okay. I still have a lot of thread left. I love to use up my thread. I hate to cut it off and throw it in the trash when I've got it all threaded in the needle and everything. So let me see, what else can I do? Let's see. I actually kind of like the way that looks. Maybe I could do that here too. All right, there I go. Okay, I feel like I got my threads worth out of this. want to use that. I think I will. I want it to show, so I'm going to get a dark brown. I think I'll do X's, crosses, cross stitches, however you say it. Okay, so there's that. Use that little piece of Tim Holtz fabric up. I've got this fly on there, which the colors kind of match this, so that's good. And let's see, what can I do? I can do the same thing, I guess, with this brown that I did over here. Okay, so now, see if I can use this up here somewhere. Because I could do the same thing there. I think I'll try a flower, a daisy. What is it called? Lazy Daisy or something like that. Okay, used up my brown, and oh, I was going to show you this button. I found this button in this box of my mom's buttons. My mom loved buttons. I love buttons, and I have a lot of her old buttons, and I had a box of just kind of rejects that I was about ready to get rid of, and I just couldn't bring myself to throw them away, and I'm glad I didn't, because when I looked closer, this really cool button that looks like tree bark on it was in there. So I thought, oh, I'm going to sew that on the cover. And on a practical note, I was thinking that it could also help protect this velvet ribbon trim, because it's raised up a little bit. So if it does get put on a shelf, it's going to raise this up where this trim is a little bit and protect it, hopefully. But I thought that went with the whole look of the deer and the outdoors, the forest on that. So anyway, okay, so I think I will stop on the cover and go on to do sewing the signatures. Thanks for watching. If you liked my video, click like. Think about subscribing, and see you next time. Bye.